All right, so a German nurse has found herself in a sticky situation. Um, the story is about a nurse in Germany who apparently uh, chose to, instead of giving the vaccine, she gave saline shots. Now, her excuse for doing this was that she dropped the vaccine and she didn't want to report it, so she just gave out a saline shot. And this story broke back in April. Now, with a little bit more investigation, we found out that she is an anti-vaxxer who has made numerous social media posts about being about going against the vaccine, and has also sent messages through her social media throughout the vaccine. And it wasn't just that time that she that one time that she dropped a vaccine, quote unquote. And it turns out that she may have misvaccinated up to 8,000 people. Now, I'm not for the vaccine. I'm not against the vaccine. I don't like how people that don't take the vaccine, and I don't like how they're being attacked in the liberal news media. I don't like how they're being attacked by dumb people. You know, there's a lot of sheeps going on, and if vaccines take a while for you to know the effects of, man, and this is super rushed. And I know there's a pandemic, but just common sense tells you, you know what? Maybe it's not the best thing to be taking something that's rushed and put it inside your body, where you don't even have up to 10. Usually you wait up to 3, 5, 10 years. I'm not a researcher, you know. I'm not a scientist. I haven't been in the health industry in a long time. I just have information that I can look up and verify on my own, which I do. You have a couple years for medications, for treatments to be approved, and to treat people like they're fucking crazy, like they're out of their mind, when they're completely within their mental capabilities for feeling weird about taking something in their body, like a fucking vaccine. That's rushed. That's rushed. And then on top of that, people don't trust shit. There's been too many times where we found out years later that, you know, there's been fuck shit afoot. You know, and you people can look that up on your own. I'm not gonna say it all right now. MK Ultra, you know, the Tuskegee experiments. I don't know. Do a Google search. MK Naomi. These are real things. And, you know, hey, man, do what you got to do to protect America, or to put America in the best. But regardless, the point is, we do fucked up shit all the time. We're going to continue to do fucked up shit all the time. And we definitely take advantage of gullible people. And this is one of the ways it's been done in the past. And to treat people like they're fucking crazy for that, you know, it's wrong and evil, and it makes you not trusted in the first place. Because if you're trying to undermine common sense, you know, that makes you untrustworthy. So, I'm going to play this clip. Let's see what I have to say.
For another shot. It's for a shocking reason. They say some may have received saline solution instead of a vaccine. And multiple reports say a Red Cross nurse is suspected of being behind the switch. NBC News correspondent Megan Fitzgerald joins us now from London with more on this story. So, Megan, people in the district of Friesland are being warned about this. How many people could have been affected, and what are authorities now saying to them?
Well, Joe, good morning. Yeah, we're talking about some 8,600 people who may have been injected with saline solution once, maybe even twice, as opposed to the COVID-19 vaccine, which is why authorities there are trying to get the word out, trying to contact people, posting on social media, Facebook, trying to let folks know that they need to make an appointment to come back and to get another dose. Now, during this time period in question, vaccines were prioritized. So we're talking about people who are 70 years and older who are eligible for the vaccine.
And let me pause. As I remember this point, the fact that somebody, just a nurse, can do this, that's against the vaccine, can give 8,000 people, up to, allegedly, 8,000 people a saline shot. That maybe that's what she was doing, trying to put doubt in the system. But there's already doubt in the system. But the fact that somebody got away with that means that you can get away with a lot of other things. You know? You can get away with a lot of other things. If you can, if a silly German bitch can just sit there and inject 8,000 fucking people, you know, it's one of the reasons why. Probably why, because it's so fucking rushed, and you want everybody to take it. It's probably one of the reasons somebody can take advantage, excuse me, and do shit like that. But if somebody can just give out saline, you know, what else could they give out?
Frontline healthcare workers, along with teachers and educators. So we're talking about some of the most vulnerable population here, Joe.
So police are reportedly investigating a Red Cross nurse. What more can you tell us about that? Are they saying what the motive might be?
So here's what we know. This investigation by police started in April because they tell us that this nurse in question here admitted to a coworker that she dropped a vial of the Pfizer vaccine. She didn't want to report it, so she replaced it with the saline solution. This coworker then reported that to the leadership. Leadership contacted police, and that's when this investigation started. So police have been doing their due diligence over the last several months, and the reason why they believe that some 8,600 people could be
This story broke out in April, okay? It's now August, and it's now breaking on American news.
susceptible to have gotten the wrong injection here is because they found some evidence that suggests that this woman may be an anti-vaxxer, as we say, that because she...
You think, bitch?
Sent messages to people and made posts on social media. And so they are concerned that she started doing this, replacing the vials with the saline solution when she started working there in March, all the way up until she made that confession in April, Joe.
Let's talk about the anti-vaxxer movement. How big of a problem is it there in Germany?
Yeah, Joe, you know, it's a good question. We know that within the last recent months, we have seen people taken to the streets in Germany protesting the vaccine and the way in which the...
People protest the vaccine because, you know, some people do believe a lot of dumb shit on the internet. You know, that's a fact. That's a fact. But there are people, and I'm not saying whether I am or not vaccinated. You know, I think if you have a family and if you're old, you should probably knock that out. You should probably go get yourself vaccinated. I absolutely think you should, because you have an obligation to keep yourself alive. To keep yourself alive and to keep your children and family safe. That's your obligation to you as a human being. You know what I mean? But if you're not a high risk person, do your research and do your research of legitimate sources, and maybe you should go to medical journals, you know, written by actual researchers instead of the news, because the news are just journalists. They don't deal in this shit every day. They deal with whatever the fuck they're told to report or whatever is going to get the ratings. You should go to somebody that actually researches this.
The pandemic. But when you look at Germany as a whole, the people there are receptive to the vaccine. We're looking at... People aren't dumb.
No one's going to be going to want to take... especially without the news, ain't nobody taking that shit. I'm telling you that right now. Without the news ramming that shit down the throats, no one's taking it.
About 56% of the population there fully vaccinated, 63% with one dose. Of course, the government there wanting to see the vaccination rate accelerate a lot quicker because they do believe, Joe, that they are anticipating a fourth wave coming as early as the fall.
All right. Megan Fitzgerald reporting from London. Megan, thank you so much.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
And this is the same guy that just passed this fucking law in New York City where you have to have a vaccine passport to go everywhere. You have to have a vaccine to go to a restaurant, to a gym, to any place where people gather. It is crazy. And meanwhile, the biggest percentage of people that don't have vaccines or have been vaccinated are people of color. So this guy, people of color and immigrants, this is what he's always supposed to be pro people of color, pro diversity, pro immigration. Those are the people that don't have vaccines. And now you're precluding them from going to gyms and restaurants. And what about the people working in the restaurants? What about all these? It's fucking madness. And then you have a bunch of people that are supporting it. Like, yay, finally. Meanwhile, you have science is coming out. There's legitimate articles. Jamie, I'll send this to you now. There's legitimate because doctors have been sending me these things. And, this is neither pro nor con vaccine. This is not a judgment statement. But imperfect vaccine.
Pay attention to what he's about to say.
Can enhance the transmission of highly virulent pathogens.
Right.
So this is a scientific paper from 2015 that shows that here's what an important quote: vaccines that keep the host alive but still allow transmission can thus allow virulent strains to circulate in a population. So vaccines that don't kill the virus, vaccines that allow people, like this is one of the things we're finding out about what they're calling breakthrough cases.
Right.
So people who are
Sorry about that. And I'm going to just go to an article I was reading that piggybacks on that. So what he just said, what the article said was, if the vaccine is not strong enough to not just keep the effects of the virus taking effect, but it also has to it doesn't destroy the virus or defend against the virus. If it just defends against the virus, but you still get the fucking virus but you just don't feel the effects, if that's the only strength it has, then it potentially just makes the virus stronger. That's pretty much the crux of what he was trying to say. Bingo. All right, because I was reading this article right now. I'm gonna read it. It's just the first. Okay. A nurse at a hospital in Brandenburg who spoke to DW under the condition of anonymity, said he was skeptical of the BioNTech Pfizer vaccine, of which he had already received the first dose. It does not prevent the infection with the coronavirus. It only prevents the actual outbreak of the COVID-19 disease. So I can imagine that others prefer to wait for other vaccines. Many doctors and nurses, he adds, have already been infected with the virus, recovered, and have formed antibodies, and therefore do not need the vaccine. Now, what I heard when I read this, and you guys can, it does not prevent infection with the coronavirus. It only prevents the actual outbreak of the COVID-19 disease. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay.
And those are the people that don't have vaccines, and now you're precluding them from going to gyms and restaurants and There's legitimate, because doctors have been sending me these things. And, this is neither pro nor con vaccine. This is not a judgment statement. But imperfect vaccination can enhance the transmission of highly virulent pathogens.
Right.
So this is a scientific paper from 2015 that shows that here's one important quote: vaccines that keep the host alive but still allow transmission can thus allow virulent strains to circulate in a population. So,
And now we have the Delta variant. Hey man, I'll see y'all next video.